Here's to You is supported by One Life Spirits. One Life Spirits is built on purpose, culture, good people, and good drinks, so you can live one life to the fullest.
That means shots that are smooth, tasteful, and pair perfectly with a lime, or our favorite, an orange, because if you're still chasing tequila with a lime, what are you doing? That orange slice brings out the bright citrus notes of Una Vida Blanco, which is smooth, authentic, and tasteful, like myself.
Plus, Una Vida is 100% additive free, so you're enjoying tequila in its purest form without the hangover regret.
Yeah, because it takes us 3 to 5 business days to recover now, and anxiety is not my friend.
That's why you should stick with Una Vida or try cocktails instead of shots.
Okay, a little.
One Life Spirits also crafts El Trago, High Post Vodkas, and Le Bon Whiskey, all bold, smooth, and made to share. Whether it's game night, date night, or just Tuesday night, they've got the pours covered.
Because it's not just about taste, but it's about that feeling. And we're proud spirit snobs, so treat yourself. Visit onelifespirits.com, swing by the One Life Spirits bar inside of El Primo, or grab a bottle at your local liquor store.
Cheers. And welcome back to another episode of Here's to You, the podcast.
Podcast.
The podcast where we bring cool people to share their cool stories with you. Sitting next to me, as always, is the wonderful blue-haired Fanister McAllister.
Yes, hello everyone. We're so excited because today we are going to have, I see what you're talking about. It finally came through. I see what you're saying.
I was wondering also what you were talking about.
That's because we always start with music first.
Love it.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, that was kind of cool though.
We had the lagging
connection,
and I totally even forgot that I hit play on that.
You're high as hell.
And there it goes.
That worked out very well.
It did. Hey, we switched spots today.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Oh man, I love it though, because we have a really special guest with us today. She puts her heart into everything that she does. She's a partner at a firm, yes, but she's also spent a lot of years advocating for, for some really tough moments in people's lives. But she sets herself apart because she brings a lot of compassion into a system that's often cold and confusing and overwhelming. Sarah is here with us today. She's not just an immigration lawyer, but she's also someone who likes to read. She's also someone who likes to look outside the window and see, like, when can I go out and play? And she really focuses on working hard, but playing hard as well. So,
hell yeah. I like that. Nice.
Yeah, it was off the cuff.
Yeah, I love it.
On some things. Some things I did write down.
That was great.
Yeah, but you've also done a lot more, like, I think, like, for us, we do try to... It's really important to us that we showcase the whole human and not just like a title or a fancy thing. I mean, but you have done a lot. I mean, you're an educator, you're a public speaker, you're a Latina leader, you're a daughter of immigrants as well, a golfer. And I didn't know you like to golf, but apparently you do. I see all of your workout videos too.
Yep.
You're also doing a podcast as well. You're on radio shows. Y'all, I mean, like, Homegirl really is everywhere.
I am. I love it though. I like to stay busy.
Yeah. So let's just kind of start a little bit about like, I want to understand maybe like, why do you do the work that you do? Like, maybe tell us about a client story or a misconception that you've heard, or like what kind of got you into this?
So I grew up here in Wichita. I grew up a Catholic kid. So in Catholic school, we are taught to volunteer. It's always an expectation to volunteer. And I feel like that's where I got my advocating, skills from. That's where I got my lifestyle of kind of going out of my way for other people. And because it was an expectation, you did not volunteer.
And you did that since
I was in grade school.
Okay. So you were at Catholic school since grade school?
My whole life, yeah.
Okay.
So when I got to Bishop Carroll, it was expected to get this many volunteer hours every year, and it just essentially was instilled in my life. So I'm constantly seeking out opportunities to help people. And that's why I'm so busy. That's why I'm on so many boards. That's why I'm doing so many things, is just because I'm always looking for the next opportunity to help someone. And that was all the way through Newman. When I was in college, I got a scholarship because of my volunteering. So it was even more volunteer work that I was supposed to be doing in order to keep my scholarship. And then when I went to law school, I didn't have to volunteer anymore. It wasn't an expectation, but I still did it anyway. And so that's just carried on.
Because it became a part of you.
Exactly.
It wasn't really like maybe it started as an expectation,
Exactly.
but then eventually it was like, this is just kind of how I live my life.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And so how do you balance the, because it's not a savior complex, but it
Not at
started,
all.
right? You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in some way, maybe
Yeah.
it started that way because of the expectation that it held. You know, how do you balance that? And then how do you also balance to where you don't burn out or get even like empathy fatigue?
Yeah. And I understand that savior complex because I actually see it in my job a lot.
Yeah.
I have, older, white, men and women who are retired and they want to help someone. I have a housekeeper who I really want to keep in the US, and they kind of get into a savior complex where I have to kind of tell them to stand back a little bit and let the person who needs the assistance to do it themselves in a way. I don't really care where the money's coming from, but I kind of have to keep that client confidentiality between me and my client and not with the people who are paying the bill. So that's kind of what I see as far as the savior complex. But for me, it's just I've come from a very great household. My dad has done very well for himself. I have never struggled whatsoever in my life. And so I've always just been taught, okay, I'm in a great position in my life. Let's give back. Like, let's give the opportunities to people who didn't have what I have. That's kind of how I see it, is to be someone who I can help because I had a great upbringing and maybe they didn't. How can I help them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your parents were also, or are also immigrants, right?
Yes. My dad's from Mexico.
Okay. And
My
then
mom's from here.
Okay. Okay. Are they like first gen or like?
My dad, my grandpa, my abuelo came to the United States from Mexico, then brought the rest of my family over, my dad and his siblings. And so, but my dad was actually first generation college educated. And then, so he got the opportunity to go to Newman University on a scholarship. And then did very well for himself after that in business. And then, so I was actually second generation college student in my family. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were saying earlier you have two older siblings, right?
Yeah, a sister and a brother. Yep.
And you guys have pretty big age gaps.
Yeah, pretty big age gap. So my sister was pregnant with my nephew when my mom was pregnant with me. So we're actually the same age. Yeah, we're the same age. Yeah.
So are you and your nephew really close? Because of that?
Yeah, we grew up like siblings.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I'm curious though, like, or no, I'm awake. So, okay. So what draws you specifically to immigration, I imagine, is probably because of
our upbringing and our family's history, of course.
Okay.
But
tell me a little bit about that.
So my whole family migrated here from Mexico, and then, but actually it's my cousin, the other attorney who I work with, Angie Balderas, who was doing immigration before I did. She's been doing it 10 years longer than I've been doing immigration. So she's actually the OG in the immigration world, if we're talking reputations. And I started watching her do her job, and I was like, oh, I want to do this. I love what she does. I got to see her lifestyle at the office, outside the office, the entire aspect of helping other people and also being able to make a living for yourself is just amazing. And so I watched her do her thing. And then when I went to law school, I wasn't for sure that I was going to do immigration, but by the time I took the class, did the internships, and I was ready to graduate, I knew that that's what I was going to do. So
yeah. How'd you get exposed to Angie though? There's a 10-year gap. Like, how'd you get exposed to her?
So my cousin Angie, they're all older than me.
She's your cousin.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Maybe we didn't switch spots. Maybe I am the high one. I'm naturally high. I'm naturally a drunk person. Like, I don't even need a drink. This is who I am.
Same. I don't need alcohol to have a good time. I can
Yeah.
tell you that.
But I like it.
But the high aspect, it gives.
Can't comment on?
No, because my mouth gets really dry, and I
yeah.
just don't like it.
Fair.
But I love the smell. I love the smell.
You love the smell?
I love the smell, but I can't smoke it because it makes my mouth really dry, and that's super annoying.
Yeah.
So, but I'll just sit there and smell it from afar, secondhand.
I love it. Okay, so Angie's your cousin,
Yes.
and that's how you see her doing this stuff. Is there ever a time in your life where you're like, I don't really know what I want to do? Did you always know you wanted to be a lawyer? Like what?
I originally wanted to be a teacher and a coach. Okay. I was the kid who had a school like in my basement. Like I had a desk and I had other desks, and all my friends would come over and we'd play school. Okay. And I always wanted to be the teacher. And when I was going to college, I was an English major, so I was still keeping the option open. And then I've been an athlete my entire life, so the coaching aspect was just going to go with teaching, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
So when I finally got to my senior year of college, I had already taken the LSAT because I was up in the air, law school, teaching, master's, whatever. And
that's a lot, though.
Yeah.
I mean, right? Because to be able, so you just did it because you were up in the air, but you weren't sure. That's a lot of dedication.
Yeah.
To study for the LSAT, and then also think, am I going to go into masters for English instead?
Yeah, and I was in season, so I was a softball player. So it was during season. We'd be driving to like El Paso, and I'd be studying for the LSAT. Yeah.
I mean, like I think like I just really want to highlight that.
Yeah.
Because like you're saying this like whatever, but it's not whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of shit to carry. How old were you?
Well, college 21.
That's a lot to carry.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun though. It was fun. Everything I do is
this what it's like
fun.
if you have zero trauma?
Girl, that's a whole nother podcast if we want to talk about trauma, my dear.
Good. You got some trauma. Okay, good.
Oh yeah.
I feel better.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no.
I was about to be like, how the fuck?
No, I'll tell people all the time, law school is the best 3 years of my life.
What the fuck?
Studying. No, I know. No, that's exactly that's what the kids in high school wanted to say when I was talking to high schoolers last week. They literally wanted to be like, what the fuck? And I was like, no, I'm serious. Best 3 years of my life.
3?
Loved it. Yeah, law school 3 years, yeah.
It's not typically 3, is it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. I feel, okay. Maybe I should go into law. Imagine me in law, guys. Okay, sorry.
I can imagine you being an attorney.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I always wanted to, actually.
Of course.
I was in debate 4 years in high school, and that's when I get really nerdy and into policy, and I like learn a lot of shit, and I'm like, oh my God. So everything leads to war?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, but because like I did policy debates, so then like the cases were, I mean, if you were negative, they were always like, if you implement this new policy for transportation infrastructure, it's gonna lead to a nuclear war, and you're like, what the fuck?
Like, how did we get there so fast?
Yeah, like that's kind of crazy, don't you think?
I did debate in high school too, but I did not take it seriously. I did it 1 year, my senior year, and me and my partner went up there and completely bullshitted our entire argument. Yeah, and we were just there to get the credit and get by. So I wasn't as much of a nerd as you were, apparently.
Oh no, dude, I was hella nerdy. I mean, but also like I couldn't do sports.
Yeah,
I couldn't do any extracurricular activities because my mom, she drove, but she didn't have papers. So we'd never really risked her driving. Yeah, of course. And then like my dad, he was the one who worked all the time. Yeah, and so it was really hard because he's very ambitious in the sense of like he just always has a lot of shit going on. That's typical dad, man. Typical, and you're Mexican as well, right? Yeah, typical Mexican dad. They work from sun up to sun down, and you're like, do you ever sit down? Yes. Do you ever take a break? No. Yeah. I mean, we did always have, and then I think like, so they always did push into us that like, this is really important that you use your voice here in the U.S. Because like, here it's corrupt as well, but they're really good about hiding shit. Yeah. Mexico, it's corrupt, but they don't care that you know. It's obvious. Yeah, they don't care that you know. Yeah. Here you have an opportunity to make a change. Yep. So we would like grow up, like my dad was busy, but we always had family dinner together. And I mean, like our conversations were about everything, but like especially when like election year came around, like we were talking about stuff. And immigration was a big issue for us, obviously, with my mom and my family. So I grew up around a lot of immigration lawyers because we tried to get her.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll get into it, right? Because it's really complicated.
It's
so complicated to have it happen. But anyways, that's why I get really nerdy. And that's the only thing that I can really take serious as an extracurricular activity.
I feel
because I couldn't do anything else. But I always wanted to. I always wanted to like try a sport or like do something. Yeah. But I couldn't do anything.
What was your sport?
Yeah.
I played volleyball, basketball, and softball my entire life. Played those 3 sports at Bishop Carroll, and then when I went to Newman, I played softball. I got bored because I was so used to playing 2 sports at one time, and so I went out. I played volleyball, and then I tore my ACL my first season playing volleyball at Newman. And I was like, wow, that sucks. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna stay with softball, less jumping, and then I tore my ACL again playing softball.
Because like once you've done that, like it's susceptible to more, right?
Yeah. So 2 ACLs later, I was like, all right, God, Sarah, focus on what really matters, which is not sports. It was, obviously my education after college. So it was a little wake up call for me, but I did I played softball at Newman.
Okay. Yep. Gotcha. And so you're saying that like you're doing all these things at 21 and also you decide to go. What finally was the wake up call that made you go, I'm going to do this?
I like specifically remember being in the living room with my dad, because my dad's always been my mentor. He's always helping me make my decisions, and well, this is what I would do, but if this is what you want to do, these are, and so I remember being in the living room and he's like, all right, it's decision making time. What are you going to do? And I was like, I'm going to go to law school because looking back now, I don't know how I knew that in the past. I was like, maybe I could just do all 3. And now I do all 3. I teach, coach, and practice law. So law school just opens up more doors for you in the future. If you have a law degree, you have more flexibility to do other stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. I mean, like, I guess I'm asking, do you know a lot of lawyers who have their law degree but then decide not to use it?
Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of practicing attorneys who no longer practice anymore, and they teach or they do policy work. Or they do advocating. They start nonprofits. There's just so much you can do with that beautiful law degree. It's very helpful.
You're not being sarcastic when you say beautiful.
No. Oh, hell no. It's beautiful. It's just framed in my office. That shit's expensive. No.
Can I ask how much was it?
Oh, man. I mean, law school, it's that, some people are hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt from law school because they didn't have any help.
Right,
now,
with scholarships.
Me, I'm a different story. And as I said, my dad was very well off, and he was able to help me pay for everything.
Oh, good.
So I did not have any debt.
Wow.
Yeah. They definitely planned for my future.
Oh.
And as I came later than my other siblings, so their lifestyle was a little different when they were raising me. And I'm lucky. I'm lucky as hell. And I think that's why I put so much work into what I do, because I know how lucky I am. Not a lot of people have what I had growing up. So I'm very aware.
Yeah. No, seriously. So on what, I don't remember what I was going to ask you about the law degree, but you eventually figure out that you want to go into immigration and you want to focus on that. Was there any other type of law that you were wanting to focus on?
Originally, I wanted to be a public defender.
Okay.
I watched all the shows growing up, and so I wanted to be a public defender, like Law and Order and all those shows. And then I took immigration. I took the immigration class in law school, which is the one that I teach now, which is pretty cool. And my professor was the deputy chief counsel for ICE, for DHS. And she taught our class.
What year was this?
This was 2014, around there. 2014, No, that's when I was in college.
This is around Obama time, which he is the one who has deported more people.
No, that was I'm wrong. You're right. So I was in law school in 2015 to 2018. I'm thinking Newman days. So around 2016, 2017 is when I took immigration law, which was the first Trump administration. Yeah.
Right? Yes, I think
Yeah.
so.
So
Yeah.
because then
I remember that exact moment. I can remember. Yeah.
Because then the summer after, because Trump was elected president when I was in law school. And that summer after I took immigration law is when I did my internship at DHS. So that was under the first Trump administration. And I told you my family's liberal, so some people did not like that.
Yeah.
Some people did not want me to do that. But I was like, no, I'm doing it.
What made you to just be like, fuck it?
I wanted to learn the other side.
Fair.
Because I had a feeling that's what I was going to end up doing was what Angie was doing. And I was like, I got to learn both sides. Yeah. And then if it doesn't work out, me working with my cousin in the future, which a lot of people are like, don't work with family, right? I thought about potentially working for the government. So I thought it was a great opportunity. Who turns down an opportunity to work for the U.S. government? I think it was just something very prestigious and something that I wanted to do no matter who was president.
Yeah.
But I wanted to learn the ins and outs of what they do and who the people I go up against now are all the people I used to work with.
Yeah, you were like an insider.
I sure was.
You were a CIA agent.
Yeah.
I was an insider.
You're playing chess. Everybody else is playing checkers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. I still have my notebooks. I have my notebooks in my office of all the notes that I took. What to do, what not to do in front of the judge, what to say, what not to say, how to go about doing this. So when I first started practicing in immigration court, I already knew the etiquette. I knew what the judges expected. I knew what DHS was going to say because I used to work for them, So.
Yeah. I used to work at a nonprofit, and the leader of that nonprofit, or the founder, would always say, I will partner with anyone to do good, and I will partner with nobody to do evil.
Yeah, that's a very good motto.
And so it's like, even like someone who is really bad or has all this stuff, it's like, or I don't know, what is the definition of bad, right? There is some, right? Like, I guess, like, I don't know, like, there are things that for sure I'm like, hell no.
Yeah.
I'm not working with you on nothing.
Yeah.
But then there are, the system is so nuanced. So let's get into that.
That's why you see my face everywhere, is because I'm trying to educate the people on why we're in the situation that we're in right now.
Yeah, it's so nuanced. Okay, so like Immigration 101. Tell us a little bit about, we've talked about this. We talked about this at our meeting. Just, I'm going to just let you say what do we need to really know about immigration that's like a myth that we grew up with, that we need to understand, that we didn't know? Yeah,
so long story short, our country's a mess right now regarding immigration. And to understand why, you have to go back to why immigration laws were created. Immigration laws were created to exclude people from the United States, not to include.
Yeah.
So they're very exclusive.
Run that back again and say that louder.
Immigration laws were created to exclude people from the United States, not to include them.
And that's why they hate us. No. but it's helpful to know this.
Yeah, that's why we're in the situation that we're in.
Yeah.
Is because essentially the way I describe it when I do talks and crap all over the place, if you're at the border and you're in Mexico and you're looking at the United States, there's a certain number of doors that you can go through. And if you can go through that door, there's only a certain amount of people who can go through that door per year. So if none of those doors apply to you, you have no opportunity to come to the United States. So the problem that we're in right now is the immigration laws are so old that it's not we're not able to have more people apply for things. And I always give the example of parents of U.S. citizens. Both parents entered illegally. They have a U.S. citizen child who's able to apply for them, but they're not eligible for Part 2, which is a waiver or a perdón or a pardon. Yeah. And so because they're not eligible for that, they will never be able to reside here lawfully. So it's because of the way the immigration laws are, and they're very exclusionary, that when people say, why can't everybody just become U.S. citizens? Well, that's the reason why, is because not everybody is eligible to even become a lawful permanent resident, which is step 1, is a green card.
Yeah.
If you don't have a green card, you can't become a U.S. citizen. So there's your answer. There's too many laws prohibiting people from becoming lawful permanent residents, people who are actually deserving of becoming lawful permanent residents that would love the opportunity to be here lawfully, but they'll never get that opportunity because of the way the laws are.
And so, like, break down eligibility. I think, like, we hear a lot of people always say, well, criminals. Right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
like,
which is number one on the, list.
Yeah, and then also, like, let's define criminal. Like, just similarly when we were talking about bad, defining that, right?
Yeah.
Because people can be like, okay, you got pulled over because you were drunk driving, now you're a criminal. How many people do not drink? How many? I mean, we have a whole fucking podcast about making a signature drink for people. Like, one bad just decision brands you really bad.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, let's break down what some of the eligibility means.
So we call them inadmissibility and removability laws. And essentially, the first one is crime-related incidences. So crimes involving moral turpitude. You've done something so bad that the public is like, oh my God, we can't have you stay here, or we can't have you come to the U.S. because of it. Aggravated felonies. If you've been convicted, and in the immigration world, you don't even have to be convicted sometimes. Simply being arrested is enough. So aggravated felonies, you are in the wrong place at the wrong time. You make the wrong decision. You're with the wrong girl. You're with the wrong guy. And I have a client who was convicted of aggravated domestic battery. He got deported because there's no forgiveness for aggravated felonies, stuff like that. Now, one DUI that might not make you removable from the country, or it might not keep you from coming to the U.S., but certainly it's going to be a hurdle to stay here or to come. So it's very, very complicated.
It is. I think in, like, for a lot of immigrants, whether you're first gen, second gen, or no, I mean, at this point, it depends, right? Like, it doesn't matter whether you're first, second, whatever, because a lot of it comes down to your legal status.
Right.
So I think, like, people who have a background in that sometimes have that pressure to perform, like, I cannot ever do anything bad.
Can't
or
slide.
Yeah, because anything I do could potentially make me lose something.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, going back to, those doors that I was talking about, why do you think so many people come to the United States unlawfully? Is because there's no door to enter through. And that's their only option. But entering illegally is a crime. Yeah. It's a federal crime.
And there's no pardon for that.
There is and there isn't. So that perdón, that waiver, that's the pardon for the unlawful entry and the time that you've been here unlawfully.
Well, I think that so my mom, because we had talked to Hella, like, I grew up around it all the time because my dad was always trying to get her to, obviously, I mean, she wanted to, we all wanted to. I mean, you want to be able to drive a car and not be afraid for your life.
Yeah.
Basic
safety.
Basic safety stuff, like, you want to be able to, like, be in a community place and see a cop and not be afraid.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But there was a point where she tried to cross and she got caught. And then that and I feel like I can actually talk about a lot of this stuff now that she's passed, because I'm like, she's safe.
Yeah.
Like, no one is ever gonna take her away.
I get it.
But it's like, which my family would probably be mad at me. But I think it's like, hey, but she's safe, guys. She's not going to get taken from us.
That's terrible.
It is.
That's so sad.
It is. But she had crossed illegally and she got caught. And then, and I think it was with illegal papers. And I think that's where you don't have pardon. Yeah. It's in that moment.
If you claim to be a U.S. citizen or you have someone else's documents, yes, it's also something that can keep you from obtaining status. Yeah.
And I remember, like, we did, like, a lot. Like, I remember just, like, growing up going always to different lawyers all the time. Yeah. And then I think it was finally in middle school when, like, one lawyer tells us, like, okay, if you move any more of her stuff, like, you are causing, like, this magnifying glass on her.
Oh.
And like, you need to stop moving things now. And the only time that I can actually help you is if she were to get caught, arrested,
worst, yeah.
and then I can go and advocate for her at that moment. Of course, there could be there could be another result, but that's when I can go help.
Isn't that terrible?
It was the worst. Like, I remember, like, we went all the way to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we had, like, a really good, like, we had found, like, a really good lawyer. And I remember, like, oh, man, there were so many, like, we were in New Mexico and El Paso. I mean, we were everywhere. Like, I remember just, like, always, like, my dad always trying to find it.
Yeah.
And I remember that, like, yeah, we were there. And when she told us that, I think, like, we were all just, like, fuck.
Wow. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's literally what I'm talking about. There's no way for everybody to apply for something. I can help you. A lot of people will say, yeah, but I've been here for over 10 years. I pay my taxes. I've never gotten arrested. Cool. Doesn't matter. The only time I can help you could only be if you get detained. So you'll see people walking into immigration. I would never tell someone to turn themselves into ICE just for me to get them status, because you can't guarantee anything in the immigration world. You could have a textbook case. You could still get denied. So it's just not, it's not something I would wish upon anyone. So if I was the attorney, I would say, do not go turn yourself in.
Yeah.
Just so I can represent you in removal proceedings and get you status. Like, that's something that I would not wish upon anyone, to be placed in removal proceedings just to get status. You know what I mean? But the thing about it is every case is different. And so a lot of people will compare their cases to each other.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, it's not how it is for this person. It could be like that for this person. It's very case by case basis. And also it's just very, like you said, nuanced. It's very complicated, and I can't get everybody's status. It's just not possible. It's terrible.
So I think, like, you said something here. You said, like, hey, this person pays taxes. Isn't that like a myth? I feel like
that's a good
man,
one.
damn,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get pissed off on this episode.
That's a good one. That is a huge myth.
I'm about to get pissed.
Yeah, that's a huge myth that people come to the U.S. and they don't pay taxes. That's not true. The U.S. government provides a way for people with no legal status to pay taxes. It's called an ITIN number, ITIN, individual taxpayer identification number. And the U.S. government says, hey, I know you're here unlawfully. That's cool. Go ahead and pay your taxes, though, with this number, because I know you're bringing in income. And that's just, but all my clients pay their taxes.
Yeah, Uncle Sam just wants the money.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck if you don't have status.
Yeah, that's why they created the individual taxpayer identification number, because they don't have social security numbers.
Yeah, and then, like, but they will detain you and they will deport you.
Yeah. It's
that's the nuance.
Cruel world.
That's the nuance.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good myth.
Yeah. What are other myths?
Immigrants are only coming here to get welfare, to take all the public benefits. They're not even eligible for it. So the only time that people in the United States who don't have status are using public benefits is for their U.S. citizen children. They're not doing anything to the system, to the welfare system. They're not even eligible to apply. So that's another good one. Yeah. And then just the whole, like we said earlier, why can't everyone just become U.S. citizens? They're so lazy. Why aren't they trying to get status? They're just entering illegally and doing whatever they want, and they're not trying. Homie. You can't, there's nothing to apply for certain people.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do for some people. And the only way that they're able to come here is unlawfully. Do you think they want to put their lives at risk and enter unlawfully and potentially die?
Yeah.
Do you know how dangerous the border is?
Yeah, crossing. Oh my God.
It's insane. If you've ever read the book American Dirt, it's a very, very good representation of what happens at the border.
Yeah.
And I hear it from my clients every day, what they went through to come to the United States. You think people want to do that shit?
Yeah.
Do you think they want to swim through the Rio Grande hoping they're not going to get shot or raped or killed?
Yeah. Especially, yeah.
If there was another way, they would do it. But there's not another way unless our immigration laws change.
Yeah. I asked my mom once what it was like for her to cross.
Oh, Lord.
And I remember, like, asking her, and she just was she was this really strong person. Like, fuck, like, I remember,
you gotta
like,
be.
Yeah, I just remember asking her, and she just, like, she said it kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
You know, she's telling me the story, And I'm just like, and I don't want to get it wrong, because like I think like I was just like just thinking about what she had to go through, and I couldn't like fathom it, that I have blocked some of it out.
I'm sure it's very traumatic. People don't, and then you have the Hispanic community not thinking that, you know, mental health, it's just a normal thing, that mental health isn't a big deal.
That's why I wanted my mom to go to therapy.
Yeah.
And that's why she yelled at me to go to therapy instead. And I'm like, you're right. I'm gonna go figure out.
You see how she flipped that on you?
Yeah, she flipped it on me.
She got you.
She did. But then I flipped it on the rest of my family. My whole family goes to therapy now.
Oh, good.
So I'm good.
That's amazing.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
But
that's hilarious.
Yeah, she was like, nah, you need it.
No, you need therapy.
Yeah. And I'm like, honestly, I don't know how you have made it through life, through all these hardships, and not cracked yet.
You got to do what you got to do. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I remember that I asked her, and she's telling me about like my older sister remembers more. I don't remember much. I just remember that when we had to come from, because my siblings and I, we are citizens. So we did, you know, like my dad's over here at this time, and he comes and picks us up at the border, or meets us at the border, and then we're waiting in Phoenix, because that's where I have family too, to see my mom crosses, you know. And it wasn't, I was like 5 at this time, or about to be 5, so in my little kid brain, I remember it as it was a really long time.
Yeah.
Like it was a long time without my mom. Like I just remember like crying a lot. I just remember feeling like, why is she not with me? Wow. And because at this point, like my dad's over here working a lot. I mean, he goes to Mexico all the time too, but he like is back and forth. Yeah. So I'm with my mom 24/7. Right. And I just remember like in my little kid brain, like it felt like weeks. And then my older sister's like, no, it was only like a handful of days, or not even that long. Like, or I don't even remember. She'll hear this and she'll be like, you said that wrong. And I'll be like, my bad. But trauma. Yeah. Because I remember it as this. But anyways, like when I had asked my mom about it, and I later on tell my sister, my older sister, she's like, I remember her having so many blisters on her feet and like wanting to help her. Wow. Yeah. And then thankfully one of my cousins came with my mom. He came illegally at that time, but they were, so she wasn't alone. Yeah, thankfully, thank God. But there were a lot of scary moments. Like she was like, but then at the same time, like when she's telling me this story, she's like, but I had it easy. She's like comparably to other people, like I saw some really bad stuff, and like I had it easier. Yeah, you know, I wasn't alone. In the sense of like I didn't cross by myself, but there were like other things that she's telling me about, like, you know, obviously you're seeing snakes and you're almost gonna like, you know, potentially die. Oh my God. Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. You think people want to put themselves through that?
No,
they
nobody
don't.
wants to put themselves through any of that shit.
It's insane.
Yeah.
They get taken advantage of every day. I mean, the price for a coyote right now,
yes,
over $10K, over $20K.
It's expensive. Yeah. Coyotes are expensive I mean, and that's the side from Mexico. I mean, like, you're a different side.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Because I start to have more Asian friends and when I come here and then to Wichita. Yeah. And I didn't even know, like, you could do sponsorship. Oh, yeah. So kind of explain that part, too.
It just depends. It depends on what you're eligible for. So if you're eligible for a temporary visa to come to the U.S., maybe through an employer, future employer, or you're coming here to do a specific thing, you can come here on a visa. And that's typically what countries on the other side of the world will do, because they don't have that direct access to the United States. So you got to have some sort of lawful way to enter the country. Or a lot of people during the when the United States left Afghanistan and the Taliban took over, a lot of Afghans were coming to the U.S., but they were flying to South America, and they made their way up to the U.S., traveling by themselves all the way, and then crossed illegally from Mexico. So if you want to get here, you'll get here. It just depends on how and what you're eligible for. Yeah. So I would say a lot of my clients from the Asian countries are, you know, coming here on visas, fiance visas, tourist visas, employment visas, stuff like that. Yeah.
Is there like an easier route, or like does this kind of go back to the eligibility doors that you were saying, you know, like where it's like how how could someone from a different country do a sponsorship like that? Or they can't, you know, because I feel like, at least from my side, like I've never heard about sponsorships until, like, you know, I meet Emily and you guys, and then I'm like, what?
Some countries are special. Some countries are special. There's this thing called ESTA. And I'm not very familiar with that, but they're visas to come to the U.S. to visit. Maybe, I'm not sure. ESTA is a thing, and then there's a diversity lottery, a visa lottery. And so if you're from certain countries, you can apply for the lottery to get a visa to come to the U.S. But I'm not really familiar with those. My clientele is mainly Mexico and Central America. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what has been like maybe a story that kind of stuck to you that made you realize, like, damn, it is not as easy as I read it in a textbook?
Oh, God. I think it's when people get detained and you have to tell them that there's nothing that I can do for them. Like that guy who had an aggravated felony. There's nothing I can do for him. He's not eligible for anything. And he's pissed because he didn't do anything. He was convicted of something that he didn't do. And I'm like, that's the criminal side. And that's when your actions or your non-action can affect your criminal case. And you have criminal attorneys who will plead to things and they're not familiar with the immigration system. And unfortunately, a lot of people are screwed because they've either done something or didn't do something. They get convicted of something, and then I can't help them. It's too late. So that's probably a big thing, that it just sucks when someone's detained, and then I just have to say you're going to get removed. There's nothing I can do. And it's happening a lot more lately because everybody's getting detained right now, it feels like, unfortunately. So we get calls every single day of family members of people who have been detained. So that's probably the shitty part, is when I can't do anything for someone who's detained. Yeah.
How do you navigate that? Or like, because you're also a very funny person.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, like, I don't know about you, but I laugh through the trauma.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I've been doing this for 7-8 years now, so I'm pretty. I've been able to learn how to handle it better. And I was actually telling this to a high schooler who was asking me how I handle this, and I was like, I could literally have a client. I could lose a case. I could lose a case in immigration court. My client's, obviously not happy, and I'm not happy, but I know that I did my best. An hour later, I could be at Newport with my family, drinking, having a good time. It sounds shitty, but that's life. Like, I can't let something like that affect me into my evening and let it affect the rest of my family, my husband. And so you just learn how to tuck it away. As long as I know I did my best,
of course,
that's all I can do. Now, if I didn't do a good job, and I know I didn't do a good job, then I'm going to kick myself because I should have done better. But if you've done everything and it just didn't work out, then you just have to keep on moving, because tomorrow you have another hearing with another client,
Yeah.
So.
And you can't let that trickle in there too.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So it's a balance, and I've learned over the years how to not let it affect me, or let it affect me in the appropriate way.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Let's cheers to that now.
Yeah, I was wondering when we're gonna bust out the alcohol. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. We got real deep, and Dusty didn't bring the clock so I could see.
Ah, damn it, Dusty.
Yeah, I know.
So I didn't even know how far we were in. I was like, fuck.
Me either. We could be here all day, man. I could talk about this shit all day.
We could. Okay, let's break.
Yay.
Break.
And this is a for real break too.